When is your birthday?
The 21st.
The 21st? Okay, nice.
So
Do you have
hopefully
any plans?
nothing too crazy. We're going out for dinner. I have hair appointment and I'm getting a massage and I bought myself some treats. So nothing too crazy. I don't like to make a huge deal out of my birthday. I'd like it to just be like a really very self-care kind of focused, very chill, quiet kind of day, you know?
It's nice. Oh, I had a massage yesterday, man. It was so good.
Nice.
And
Oh,
she did something to my fingers, and then there
yeah.
were sounds.
Oh, jeez.
To do.
That sounds really nice. Yeah, I have a massage booked for tomorrow, and I'm very looking forward to it. It's been a long time since I had one, and my body, I'm ready. I can feel it.
Yeah. No, you need for the shoulders and everything.
Exactly. I'm in front of a computer so much, you don't realize how stiff you get just from sitting like
Mhm.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I hate being in front of the computer. But at work, I'm like sitting all day on the computer. I
Me
hate it.
too. I'm lucky enough at my job, I have one of those, like, standing desks, so at
Mhm.
least I, like, rotate between sitting and standing, and I can, like,
That's
pace
nice.
around my little area and stuff,
Mm.
but no, I feel that too.
You work at McEwen, right?
I do, I'm up in the web team, so I'm up in, like, this, like, tucked away little tower of the campus.
So what do
It's
you
super
do?
nice. Sorry?
What do you do?
I work on the website, so I'm a web
Mhm.
content coordinator, so everything on mcEwen.ca, everything on the student portal, I've probably touched it in some way, shape, or form, whether that's, like, changing some of the writing or changing some of the coding on the back end. So,
Okay.
yeah,
That's
it's
nice.
a very nerdy little job, but
Mhm.
I quite love it, and I get to talk to some really
Mhm.
interesting people. I've actually been working with the research team right now at McEwen to redo their whole segment of their website
Mhm.
just to, like, learn more about the stuff that they're doing, and oh my god, is it so cool. There's so many cool things happening.
That sounds really cool.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
really like it. I like being so close to so many smart people. It's really
Mhm.
exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, I imagine everyone
Mhm.
on the research team. Oh my God, they would have like so much to like
Oh,
like, random
crazy.
information.
There's so much. I love it. But yeah, and I'm gonna be a student. I've,
Mhm.
been accepted into McEwen, and so I'm gonna be taking my very first ever creative writing course this fall. So I'm really excited about that.
Oh my God, it's really nice. I took a couple. My minor was creative writing at U of
Yeah,
A, so
nice.
took a lot of courses, and it's how do I say this? It was a little like, oh, I'm gonna open up to people. So it was
Yeah.
nerve-wracking at once, but like after one or two courses, it's like, oh yeah, I want to share my stuff with all of you.
Oh, I love that. I'm really looking forward to that because I know, um Abigail, one of my other friends, she also minored in creative writing at the U of
Mhm.
A, and she's given me some heads up as to what those classes are like, and I'm very
Yeah.
actually really excited about the workshopping side of it and
Mhm.
hearing people's
Mhm.
feedback and initial
Yes.
reactions.
Mhm.
I feel like I write in, like, a silo, like, totally by myself a lot.
Mhm.
My partner will read a lot of my stuff if I let him, but a lot of the time, like, it's just me who sees it until I, like, decide to go read it at an open mic or send it off to a
Yeah.
magazine or something, so it'll be getting that second set of eyes will be a quite the learning curve, I think.
Mhm. Mhm.
But I also, like,
Yeah.
I wanna do the inverse too. I wanna get better at giving that feedback as well,
Mhm.
and I think
Yeah.
a class like this, that'll help a lot.
Mhm. Yes, and it's it's wonderful reading everybody's work, and
Yeah.
then even when they give prompts and you see how different everybody wrote,
Mm,
and just
mhm.
like getting to know people's writing, and I was always amazed like how different everybody wrote.
Yeah, I love that, and
Yeah.
the process side of things, like, some people work really good on a prompt, and then they start, very linear. They start top to bottom, finish, done, and other people, like, backwards or in chunks or all over the place, or they have to do
Yeah.
mind maps first before they can get into the
Mhm.
actual writing. I love all of that stuff because I don't know, it, like, does something in my brain where I'm like, "Oh, yes, now I want to write," you know?
Yeah, it's fun. So when did you started writing?
So this is create like this is a weird question because I try to figure out a timeline of it,
Mhm,
and so I started academic writing
mhm,
in school. We all did. We're all taught
mhm.
to do essays
Yes.
and stuff. So that's when I would say that. And I've always kind of kept a journal and wrote not serious poetry, but like tidbits that were kind of poetic,
Right.
as any teenager does,
Yes.
But to be honest, I didn't actually come to writing poetry seriously and writing creatively
Mhm.
until the pandemic. So,
Mm.
I had always kept a journal. I've been keeping a journal since 2016, and been writing doing the bullet journal method, been doing the stream of conscious thing, whatever. But I didn't actually start, like, putting pen to paper and going, "I'm going to write a poem, and I'm gonna do something with this poem."
Nice.
So, literally, like, late 2020, and then it took me until 2023 to decide to start doing anything with that
Mhm,
stuff,
mhm.
to magazines. So I'm, like, actually a big newbie into the field of it. I'm a huge reader, so I think that helps a lot. But,
Mhm,
like, if you had asked me when I was in university doing my undergrad to, like, write a short story or write a poem,
mhm.
I probably would have said some very colorful words and stormed away because that was not what I did at all. I could not make that work. I could argue, I could make a hell
Right.
of a argumentative essay, could not write anything creative to save my life.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so I'm a
Nice.
latecomer to it, but
Mm.
it's been I think it helped though because I've read so much that I've had a lot to be able to reference and look back on to help.
Mhm, mhm.
So I have an English degree, so I don't have a creative writing, but English that teaches you the the analytical side of things. So I know how to
Right.
break things down. It's just building it
Uh-huh.
that's a little bit more complicated.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I don't have it in me. I can't analyze and I just write, write, write.
Yeah.
And yeah, I can't. Like it's a lot of like words. Someone said, "Oh, the personification is so good in your poems." I'm like, what is personification?
Yes, I totally understand. Um, but that's so nice because I have so much of the analytical training, I'll have a goal in mind for a piece. I want this to be a personified what that does
Mhm.
this, that starts in mise en scène and does that and this, but then I can't
Mm,
make it come together. I know how I want it to do and how I want it to be interpreted,
see.
how I want the subtext, all this stuff, but then making it come and actually exist can be really hard,
Oh,
and I often get stuck in the, like, planning phase because I need
mhm.
all that. It must
Oh,
be
so you plan first?
freeing to not have that.
Oh, so the lamp story that you had on Substack, right? Oh,
Yes.
first I was like, oh, I had to read it twice to
Yeah.
understand it, and then I was like, what?
So that piece, um, no planning at all.
No planning?
No planning at all. I was actually really proud of myself for that because usually everything I write, except for poetry, I have to plan it. Poetry, I just let it come off the cuff.
Mhm.
I don't know how people outline a poem. I've talked to
So
a few
how'd you even
people,
do
like,
it?
how? I would love to learn how to do that. I can't figure it out. Yeah, the sacrificial lamb, that story, it was one that I was scrolling, like, Pinterest, and I came upon the painting that has that lamb's head on a plate, and I just had an idea, and I'm like, "I'm just gonna write down and see what happens if I, like, build a story around this painting." And something came up. I got a little bit of feedback on it to, like, change some things up to make it a little bit more, um vague because I was, like, I think pounding
Mm,
it, like, home a little bit too much in my first draft. My partner's like, "No, make this more vague, more open for interpretation,
mhm.
'cause that it'll be better that way." And I'm like, "Okay." So I think I ended up cutting down, like, 2 or 3 paragraphs and just let slim it right up. But yeah,
Mhm.
that was, like, a more off the cuff just writing practice, and I was like, "Shit, let's see what happens with this."
Yeah, the vague thing, it reminds me of, a story I was reading of Ernest Hemingway.
Oh, yeah?
The one that's like hills like white elephants.
Mm.
You read it?
Yes, I have read it. I actually have, um, when I did a writing retreat this past summer, Jenna Butler, who is an amazing poet and writer, I think you might actually really like her stuff. Um, she did a little workshop with us where she was talking about, writing more than the human world, and
Mm-hmm.
we read that short story in that workshop and talked about it and how the mountains represent all these things, and yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it was really great. There's a few other stories that she had mentioned in this workshop that are, like, related and theme and other stuff that to look at that I haven't gotten to, but yeah, Hemingway. Oof.
Yeah, I mean, in that story, I was like, how did he do it?
Oh, I
Like,
wish I
there's
could know.
not the word mentioned, but
Mhm.
yeah, I haven't read a lot of his stuff. I read just Old Man and the Sea.
Yep, I've read that one. I am admit as well, I've read a couple short stories because of school, and most of the
Hmm.
titles escape me now. But Old Man in the Sea is a big one that I remember. There's another one of his novellas. It's on my bookshelf somewhere. I'd have to look. I can't remember. I know the color of the book because it's nice and blue. But okay, when did you start writing?
So I would say I started journaling and stuff
Mhm.
as a teenager. I
Yeah.
was 13 or 14. But I started writing when I went to school. So when I went
Yeah.
to school at UFA, the
No.
creative writing, and it was 2021, I think. Yeah,
Yeah.
in 2021, that's when I started writing. Writing. I did like a few stories. I was always into stories and stuff.
Yeah.
So I like made up stories and all that, but never like put them down.
That's the hard part of putting them down because, like, sometimes they just live in here, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. And then I started writing and then I just poetry just like flew out of me. It's like,
Yes.
okay, I'm
Yes.
gonna
I
make it a
feel
book.
that.
Yeah, poetry does that, right? It just
It does. I don't
have
think
fun.
poetry just arrives when it's supposed to arrive. You can't
Hmm.
force it. Though I know people who, like, sit down and are going like, "Okay, I have a poem I'm going to outline. I have done research. Now I'm gonna write the poem." I love whoever those people are. I've met a few of them. I don't know how they do it. I would love
Yeah.
some of that magic because I think it would make me a really good poet. But I cannot make poetry just forced to me, you know?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um, yeah, I really enjoy your poetry a lot. I really love when you speak it, and I know you have uh, a new collection, a new book that you came out. Can you tell me more?
Yes, yes. But that one's only in Punjabi, my mother tongue.
Nice.
Yes. But I'm working on something that's both in English and Punjabi, and I'm
Nice.
planning to launch it this year. So we'll see.
Really?
Yeah.
That's exciting. Or is it like a full-length collection? Is it a chapbook? Um,
I don't know if it's a full it's 45 poems.
Nice. So it's a
So
little that's, like, in between the 2. I would consider that a collection.
yeah.
Maybe you
Yeah,
could.
this one I wrote like last year, last summer.
Yeah.
Um we were I went camping for the first time.
Oh,
So
nice.
we were
Welcome.
so much so we were so much in the mountains and then
Yeah.
there poetry just flew out. And then it
Mhm.
all became one collection.
That's
So
amazing.
yeah.
Do you find that writing outside, in nature or in public or whatever, that you do more writing when you're out of the house versus inside your home?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Me too.
Yes. Yes. Even in just in the balcony I can write lots.
I do
Yeah.
that at the park all the time. In the summer, I'm just, like,
Mhm.
motoring away. As soon as I'm at home, though, it's like a fight.
Yeah, there is something about like being out in the nature and
Oh,
yeah,
totally.
yeah. Um I had this a short story. I think I'm gonna make it into a children's book, but let's
Oh,
see
yeah?
what happens. But in this story, the idea was that the trees they are the givers of ideas.
Cool.
They pass the ideas on to creative people, and that's why when we're out in nature, we're so creative.
Oh, I love that. That would be very sweet.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, just gotta sit down and get things done.
Yes. Oh, story of my life. I feel like I have so many projects up in the air right now that I just need to, like, buckle down and actually either finish
Mhm.
or just, like, work on because they're almost there.
Mhm.
For whatever reason, I just keep ignoring them. And then I'm like, "Oh, I wanna do something else over here," start a new project just to
I
abandon it.
know. I just I got an ideas notebook that
Oh, that's
all
smart.
the new ideas I'm not gonna start to just go into that.
Nice. I keep a pad of sticky notes by my
Mhm.
bed with a pen because that's where I find I get the most ideas is, like, right before you fall
In your
asleep
bed.
maybe. Yeah, and so I will just, like, keep jot notes of my ideas and keep them there, and then once the sticky note is full, I just take it out, put it in my journal. It's done, it's there, it exists. I can come back and find it later.
Yeah, that's a good one. What are you currently working on? Projects?
So right now I have 2 projects on the go. I am working on what I'm hoping will be a poetry collection. I don't really know. I'm
Yes.
doing a lot I have a whole lot of poetry written in my, like, big archive of
Mhm.
poetry, and so I've finally taken a good look at it, pulled a whole bunch together, and I think I have enough for a collection. And so I'm just going through edits and revisions,
Mhm,
especially the
mhm.
old stuff now that
Yes.
I think I'm a much better writer than when I started. So I'm fixing a lot of that. And then the other thing I'm working on, I have another short story. I have the first draft done, and you can see all
Nice.
lines and marks. Um, and so I just need to start the second draft. And to be honest, there isn't a lot of work to be done. It's mostly the beginning half of the
Mhm,
story because I my first draft, the beginning half is really rushed, and now
mhm.
kind of figured out how to slow it down and what I wanna do with the character a little bit more. Um, and then the back half is great, so I'm like, "Good." There's, like, no edits. I think I can just polish it up a little bit, and it should be good. It's just I need to start that second draft. And
Mhm.
then I do have a novel in progress, but I feel like I shouldn't talk about it much because I literally haven't touched it since August.
I'm guilty of that too.
Oh, and I want to. I want to work on it. My problem is that it's such a big project, and I love it so much that if I start working on it, I won't work on anything else. That takes up all of my
Yes.
creative energy, and I've
Yeah.
been writing more poetry lately, so much more stories and stuff like that, and also, like, little Substack, like, essays and memories and stuff that I don't wanna, like, stop doing those things and
No.
novel, but it does exist.
Yeah.
I have the second draft is done, and I have been like, tearing it to pieces, trying to make it in preparation to start the third draft eventually. One day. It's there in my desk.
I
So
know. I keep telling myself, "Oh, I need to finish this, then I'm gonna go to novel." But then more projects keep coming up, and the timeline's getting. Yeah.
and
It's like,
novels, like, I love them, but if I'm not and I'm sure you're probably the same way, where if I'm not fully immersed into it,
mhm.
it's hard to write because you don't know the whole
Yes.
story yourself, like, you have to
Yeah.
remember there's so many words, you
Mhm,
know?
mhm. Yeah, I feel like yeah, all day I have to keep thinking about just the story,
Yes.
nothing else, and it's like going on in my head. And yeah, but yeah, I'll go back to it. I'll go back to it.
I know it exists. It sits in my desk.
Yeah.
I don't forget about it. Every now I pull it out and I just stare at it for a bit and I go, "Okay, not today."
Oh, I did this really cool thing for my characters. So there's like three main girl characters
Mhm.
in there. So I made collages for all of them, like different collages for their personality and like just the theme and everything. It was really fun.
I done that too.
Yeah.
I created, like, a Pinterest board for all these little things that kind of inspire me about this novel in progress, and then there's, like, little subcategories for my characters to just get, like, vibes and, like, what kind of clothing I think they would wear, and music,
Mhm.
the colors, just like all these little things that make them feel more real. And
Yeah.
actually, I really like that because it helps as a reference as you're writing, you know?
Mhm, mhm.
I do that, I did that mostly for the novel, but I wanna start doing some of that for some of the short stories I'm working on too, even just creating, like, a little collage that covers, like, the landscape and some of the key
Yes.
vibes and
Mhm.
the story just to, like, I don't know, give it a
Yeah,
little
like a
spin.
visual to the story
Yeah,
and then yeah, help better with the imagination. Yeah.
exactly. Because I
Mm.
found when I was working on the novel, so my book, it takes place cabin in the woods kinda story.
Mhm.
Um, and so I found for myself writing architecture and trying to describe how this cabin sits
Mm.
in this clearing, the nature of its floor plan and its layout. I really actually struggled with that. I found it really hard to like describe that without it coming off as like a big mishmash of just random
Mhm.
rooms. And so I ended up finding, some, like, floor plan layouts for, like, old school cabins and stuff, and
Oh.
using that as being like, "Okay, this is what this place looks like." Now I can, like, kinda like a clue board, move my
Mhm.
cursor room to room as I'm writing scenes so
Mhm.
I can tell what we're
Interesting.
looking at. I found that super, super helpful, and I wanna do more of that for some of my stuff because I think just that spatial awareness helps more.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
I have a one chapter in the book where it's like the two characters, um, two girls, they were friends back home, but then they coincidentally meet in New York, and then they
Yeah.
go for a walk, and I printed out the whole map. Oh, now they're
Oh
here,
my
now they're
god.
going here, and they're walking there. It was
Espec
fun.
That's awesome, and especially in such a, like, an iconic city like that, like, you kinda need that map,
Mhm.
otherwise, it's like, you could be in Soho, you could be in Brooklyn, you have no idea where you're at.
Yes. Yeah. It's fun. I had fun. I need to go back to it. Now I'm missing it.
Ugh, I know. It's gonna it exists, though, even whether it's in drafts and pages and
Mhm.
outlines and whatever, it exists. It's not like it's gone, so
Yes.
you can always come back to it. Tell me
Mhm.
more about this, poetry project, though. So you said you wrote it all while on, your very first camping trip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so not all on the first camping trip, but, like, the whole summer we were camping, so
Yeah.
in span of, like, 4 or 5 months, I think I put it.
Ooh, nice, very nice.
Yes, and it's called "Summer I Found My Wings."
Oh, that's a beautiful title. That's so
Yeah,
exciting.
yeah, and my friend, Mehak, I think she just joined in. She helped me edit it.
Nice.
Yes, I knew there was a theme that there were seasons in there. There's
Mhm.
spring, summer, and fall, but I I didn't know, like, how to, like, organize it and make it more like a story arc, and
Yeah.
then she helped me, like, organize and edit
Mhm.
and put them in a way that builds up a story. It's
Oh,
a
I love that.
story of a soul going, like, doubting herself and not looking within and insecure and stuff. And then she gets inspiration and guidance from the nature. And then she goes towards surrender and love, and she finally accepts love. And
Oh,
it's,
I love that. That's very sweet, and I love the seasonal aspect of that because that's so human, and so
yes.
we all go through our own seasons like that too.
Mhm.
I love that. Um, how much in and maybe this is a giveaway about some of the poems in that piece, but how much does nature play into your poetry as you're writing this, like, seasonal piece?
Oh, a lot. The third part is a lot of like narratives between the nature
Interesting.
and the character, I would say.
Yeah. So nature itself almost becomes another character in the story.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
That's
Yes.
really interesting. I love that.
Yes.
That's a
I
very
love
Canadian thing too, you know? I l I love it. I love that we'd mentioned it earlier, the personification of nature and land and stuff.
Yeah.
It is such a Canadian literature, like, theme. None of us can outrun it. We all do it.
Because we're surrounded by
Much.
so much nature.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, and it
Mm.
well, even just us talking about, like, how many winters we've already gone through in the span of 2 months, like, it becomes this adversary, but also this, like,
Right.
sweetheart that you adore, but this thing that you wanna fist fight sometimes.
Oh my god, the other day I've never seen this kind of snow until now. It was like, you know how in cartoons they have like the round snow?
Yeah.
I saw that and I didn't know this snowed like that. It was
No,
magical.
isn't it? I there's something I have a love-hate relationship with winter, and I think part of it is just because it's so long here that there's always a point where you're over it, and then
Yeah.
2 more months, you know? But winter here is actually it is so beautiful, it's so quiet. I really love when and it sucks because it only happens when it's really cold, but, you know, when it's freezing cold and you go outside and it's the snow is noisy,
Yes.
thing I think and so many movies don't get that right when they show, like,
Mhm.
nature, and it's like, "No, no, no, the snow makes squeaky, crunchy sounds, like, you can
Yes,
hear
yes.
it, it has a voice." That's how you know it's so cold. It's not just seeing, like, your breath out there, it's the crunching, and I love that because it's such an interesting thing that,
Mhm.
like, the snow speaks in some ways,
Oh.
and it's yelling at us, and I'm yelling at it too.
Yeah. Yeah, and then when then that seasonal depression kicks in,
Yes.
like everyone's feeling low and
Mhm.
yeah.
Oh, I feel it, especially when it's so dark over the, like, winter break and stuff, and you're just
Mhm.
like, "I just need to see the sun. I
I
haven't
know,
seen
right?
the sun in, like, 3 weeks, please."
Yeah, and I'm like, when summer comes, "Oh, I'll be okay.
Yeah,
It's
there's
just
this
yeah, it'll be okay."
amnesia about it, you know?
Yeah, but then every winter, oh my God, I just
And
wanna sleep, sleep, sleep.
mhm.
Yeah, it's like
I
we're supposed to hibernate.
I agree. I absolutely agree. I think it's meant that it's the season of rest. You're supposed to.
Mhm.
Um, coming back around to writing, though, you mentioned that you've started off writing by keeping a journal.
Mhm.
Your journal practice like?
Oh, so now it's just I I think I write I don't even know, but I try to write something, every day,
Yeah.
whatever, like, highlights of the day or something, or mostly it's when I started writing, it was
Yeah.
so I grew up in a very, mm, it was a joint family. I grew up in India, so a small
Yeah.
town, and you couldn't talk about boys, you couldn't talk to boys, and the teenager me, of course I talk to boys.
Yeah, what do you expect from teenagers? Like, let's be for
Yes.
real.
So, all those angsty love and all
Yeah,
that stuff, I had to, like, do something about it,
of
and
course.
since I couldn't talk to anybody, then I would tell the journals that what my mom found it.
Oh, no.
That was such a painful,
Oh.
and then she did not understand the English,
Mhm.
and but my sister, my older sister, she's 5 years, older than me. She
Yeah.
did. So my mom showed it to her, and then when she told my mom, of course she over exaggerated
Of
stuff.
course. Oh,
And
sibling.
that was like and so that was, we're like I think she slapped me or something.
Mm.
So that was they were stopping me from it, and then I wanted to do it more.
Of course, you can't especially with a teenager, you tell them not to do something, they're gonna do the
Mm,
opposite. Your authority doesn't matter here, like, let's be for real.
no. I was like, "Okay, I'll be a writer then."
Hell yeah, I love that. That's amazing.
Yeah. Mm, crazy. Yeah. So you grew up on the farm?
I did. So I kinda like you, I grew up in a really, really rural, really isolated, area of Alberta, so it's actually considered a hamlet here,
Mhm.
which is smaller than a village, and the area I grew up in had a population of about, like, 200 people.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
so
everybody knew everybody.
and everybody was related to everybody, and so my family is actually from a different part of Alberta, but after my parents split when I was quite young, we moved out to this tiny little hamlet. So I was
Mhm.
like the newcomer, and it was so crazy because I wasn't related to anybody. I didn't have cousins upon cousins out
Mhm,
here.
mhm.
So that's my, upbringing there. I went through, kind of a joint family, so my 2 older sisters are my half siblings, but
Mhm.
then because my mom had relationships with other men and stuff who also had kids, there are periods in my life where I had stepbrothers and step-siblings and stuff like that. Now it's just the 4, like, the main crew of
Mhm.
us. Yeah, I have 2 older half sisters. One is 5 years older than me, and the other one is 7 years older. So I totally understand, like, that kinda split, that dynamic.
Yeah.
Um, and that definitely that experience, I think, is, like, the keystone of a lot of my writing is I really write about that experience and what it was like. Um and I think a big part and I've been trying to figure this out for myself as to if this is gonna be something I keep writing about indefinitely, and I think
Mhm.
I probably will in some way. But I think a lot of it is I'm, like, emotionally purging those memories
Mhm, mhm.
and trying to make sense of everything too.
Right. Yeah, until it all gets out.
Exactly,
Right.
and so,
Yeah.
my family has, like, a bit of a complicated history because my father passed away when I was quite young, and that informs so much of what the family dynamic was because of that situation and the nature of just all the manual labor when you work on a farm and the way that you're kind of at the mercy of the elements and all these things you can't control because, you know, shit happens. So, it definitely cover colors a lot of my writing, and there's always a folky aspect, I think, to my, creative my short stories that I write because of that. I would love to try to write more about living in the city. I've been living here now, I think it'll be no, it is. It'll be 10 years, I think, this fall is how long when
Oh.
I moved to Edmonton. Um And that's obviously shaped so much of my, like,
Mhm.
mental development and growing up and everything as well, and I would love to write it because now that I have been in the city for so long and have come together with so many different communities, I feel like I actually, like, live here and I'm not just
Mhm,
visiting,
mhm.
you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I would love to do more of that, but for now, my writing is firmly on the farm.
I really like how, because when I think about farms and anything, I romanticize them. It's
Mhm.
because I'm because I've just seen them as an outsider,
Oh, yeah.
and I love seeing it from your point of view, that all the manual labor, all the things that I wouldn't even think about,
Yeah.
how it would be living on a farm.
And I think I love hearing that, that's such a huge compliment, because I think that's a goal of a lot of my writing is because yeah, everybody romanticizes this, like, the farm life, the rural life, the
Mhm.
pastoral, the capital
Yeah.
R romantic, um,
Yes.
and there's parts of it, yeah, that should be romanticized. It's really beautiful, but
Mhm.
there's an undercurrent to it too where, well, for example, because of where I grew up, because it was so small and so isolated and so little, I definitely struggled a lot when I first moved away from the farm and had to be social for the first time, because I'd
Mhm.
never had to learn how to make friends, because
What do
friends
you
were just
mean?
friends were built in, you know?
Oh,
The
yeah, yeah,
community
yeah,
is so small, you are immediately made to be friends with everybody because there's only 9 kids in my class. There's no way you're not friends with everybody
yeah.
when there's
Mhm,
that
mhm.
many of you, and then suddenly you go to university where one of your lectures is 200, 300 people, you know?
Oh, yes.
That was more people than I think I had ever seen in my life, let alone
Mhm.
in one room. So um, there's this weird tension between the 2, you know?
Mhm.
And I think that that's an interesting zone to explore, and especially like, I talk with a lot of my coworkers about farming practices and stuff because, I'm vegetarian, so I don't eat meat anymore,
Mhm.
and they always find that so interesting because I grew up on the farm, and it's like, you'd think that that's just part of it, but it's like, no, I know the truths of how all this works. I've had to be there for every
Mhm.
step of the process, and I don't wanna take part in it, you know?
Yeah.
And so it's really interesting, and I don't wanna
Mhm.
demonize it either. It's just
Mhm.
nuanced, I guess, is the word I'm looking for.
Yeah. I yeah, I get it.
Yeah. And I imagine, like, you have a very different perspective of even just rural city life, Canada in general, being from India originally and coming
Mhm,
here.
mhm,
The layers of all of that and all
mhm,
the other adverse word I'm trying to say, all the other challenges that you've had to overcome in order to
mhm.
make home here even.
Yeah, I know. It's when I so the I think the meat part was it's starting to sink in now, but it was never a part of farm life for me. Because
Yeah,
back home there's no such thing like that.
yeah,
Because they just grow grains, and then there's of course there's cows and they milk them, but like there's not the meat part involved, and
yeah. And
that's it's really different.
mhm, and, like, I can only speak from the experience I had, like, I grew up on a wheat farm, a cattle farm, but we also had, like, horses, sheep, goats, pigs, we had a dairy cow for a period of
Mhm,
time too, donkeys, all kinds of, like, mismatched animals, but most of the time, our family was on, like yeah, like, a wheat and cattle farm, and so
mhm.
it's very different than somebody who only does canola, for example. That's a
Yeah.
totally different world. Um,
Mhm.
so
Can you
yeah,
ride a horse?
I can. I used to actually I should oh, I should dig up photos. I actually used to compete.
Oh, you did?
I did. Yeah, so I was in this thing called 4-H.
Mhm,
So 4-H is an, agricultural club here in Canada and the US. And there's more to it than just ag, but you can have, like, soccer and vet clubs that are
mhm.
part of 4-H and stuff, but, so I was in the Light Horse Project, and I was in the U Project, so that's the Sheep and Lamb Project. And so, yeah, I used to compete, horseback all the time, and I was pretty good at it, to be honest. So I think
That's amazing.
wait, I'll see if I can pull a photo up. I have a photo of me that's, um, really old, I'm pretty sure now, of me actually standing on top of the back of my horse at the time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's some crazy shit.
I did some really stupid things, but our horses were really well trained. We broke a lot of our horses ourselves. We raised them from when they were babies all the way to adult. So they were very desensitized to that kind of
Mhm.
stuff. We could do the stupidest things. Let me see. Do, 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 do. Almost there. I have it
I
somewhere.
feel
I know
like we should write a story about, horses and stuff.
I would love to. That's one I keep trying to, like, figure out how I want to broach that because um, I have a long history with horses
Mhm.
and stuff. Like I said, I used to compete on them. I did all kinds of stuff. Here, let me see if I can share my thing now. Doo doo. Wow. Here.
Mhm.
So I think you can see it. So this is from Facebook. This is so old, but this is me in the middle. Oh, this is
Wow,
from
that is really cool.
yeah, so this is from 2012, so I would have been 15, I think.
And that must be really hard to do.
Oh my god, it's so hard to do. It's really hard to do. It's very dangerous to do. You can very easily get hurt because there's a long drop from up here to down there, and you're working
Yeah.
with animals. But this is some of the silliness we used to do all the time.
But that's really cool.
Yeah, so I yeah, I have a history with that. But like I said, I was in 4-H for a huge chunk of my life, basically until early adulthood. It's part of the reason why I'm pretty good at public speaking now because
Mhm.
speaking was a mandatory part of 4-H. You
Yeah.
have to do it. It's part of like the bylaws of running a club and stuff. So like I've been doing public speaking since I was 9.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so there's a lot of benefits. It definitely helped me a lot, but I have a contentious relationship with it because, as all kids do, there are points in your life where you don't wanna do it anymore,
Oh.
doing it, you know? So,
That's nice.
eventually, I'll probably end up writing some kind of cowboy story. I do have one that is going to come out on Substack. I think it's scheduled for June-ish. It's a story inspired by Cain, the biblical story of Cain and
Mhm.
Abel, but it's set as being more of a Western, as more of a
Uh-huh.
feud between 2 brothers, um,
Okay.
one who's a cattle farmer and one who's a wheat farmer. So,
Okay.
it's a
Sounds
short one,
interesting.
but yeah. So I'm starting to dabble in that direction, trying to.
Okay. Interesting. And
Yeah.
it's so um it's beautiful and that how we're pouring our life into these stories and they're coming out from all the experiences we once had and now we're just writing.
Yeah. What do you think in all of your writing, do you think there's a certain theme that keeps coming up over and again based on your experiences or anything like that?
I think if it's like something that keeps on coming again and again, that would be love.
Yeah.
I read a lot about it.
Well, you're newlywed too, so of course. I love that, that's so sweet.
Yeah, so there's that. But then there's always like I because I think everybody does that self-doubt and
Mm, mhm.
anxiety and all the mental health things. I think that keeps coming again and again too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
Think there's any way to really escape it because it's
Hmm.
cyclical at times, like,
Yeah.
it comes and goes.
Yeah. So, yeah, there's that. And
Yeah.
yeah. I love being a writer.
Oh, I love it. I I wish I would've started earlier, I wish I would've realized how much I enjoy it and that I don't
Mhm.
like, I don't get me wrong, I love a beautiful essay. There are so many beautiful essays on Substack that I eat up, but that there's more to that than just
Yes.
essays, that I could have been doing so much more earlier. I wish I
Mhm.
would've gotten off my high horse and stopped being so pretentious about it, you know? But I'm happy to be here and doing it now. It's so
Yeah.
I don't know, it's so much more satisfying and I have so much more fun.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah. I feel like yeah. I go to Substack for having fun.
Yes, and that's how I feel about it. This is my place to, like, try
Do
things that
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so when you approach a story, whether it's a short
Mhm.
story or your novel or anything like that, how do you begin? Are you somebody who just, like, pants it and, like, immediately starts writing? Are you a plotter? Do you plan it all out first? Something in
No,
between?
I don't plan at all.
Oh my god.
I don't even know what I'm going to write when I start writing.
Oh my god. That, like, gives me anxiety. I don't know how you do that.
I never plan on writing even for Substack. I don't know what I'm gonna write. I just start
Mm,
writing. Sometimes I'm like mad, so I just start like
yeah.
putting my emotions down. And then I'm like, okay, this sounds more like a poem. This sounds more like an essay. You go there.
Wow. God.
Yeah.
That's, like, amazing to me. I can understand that because I do that for poetry, it just, like, comes out like we
Mhm.
talked about, but for most other things, there's, like, even just a little bit of planning that I do, a few bullet
Mhm.
points where I'm like, "I wanna do this, this, and this," or "end this way," or something.
Mhm.
Sometimes for the Substack stuff, I manage to just get it all out and it be done, but I usually still have, like, a sense of direction that I wanna go. I wish I could write like that and just, like, totally just tear the keyboard apart and get it all out in one go.
But then that way, I feel like so whenever I'm telling someone about my Substack, I'm always confused. What is my Substack about? Because
Yeah.
there like so much like different stuff out there, and then I'm like, just read for yourself, man. I
Yeah.
don't know.
But I love that too because it shows the different parts of you, you know? Like, you are
Mhm.
multifaceted, you're not just, like, this one little pigeonholed thing over here, you're all of it, and sometimes that's a little bit messy and hard to categorize, and
Yeah.
that's amazing.
Definitely. Yeah, but with novel, I I had the story, I had the idea what I wanted to start with, but then that story, every draft, it keeps changing.
Mhm. Yes. I find that too. With my novel, the very first, like, chunk of it that when I first started, like, planning it, it was gonna be this one thing, and then I wrote the
Mhm.
first draft, and it totally changed, and then I started planning on how I was gonna fix it and do better, and I wrote the second draft, and it's almost completely different, like, the only thing that's the same is a little bit about the characters and, like, setting, basically. There's so much that has changed,
Yeah.
um, and I think that's why I keep hesitating to get back into it because I know it's going to radically change again.
Yeah. We should stop calling it our novel. What's the name of your novel?
Right now, the tentative name is called The Looming.
The Looming?
Yeah.
Okay,
Do you
okay,
have a
okay.
title for yours?
I'm calling it Illusion of Desire.
Ooh, I like that. That's very nice.
But
What
it's very girly.
That's okay. There's
Yeah, that's
nothing
okay.
wrong
We
with
need to
that.
know about women experiences.
Yes, and women's literature is a very firm, strong, long-standing genre in of itself, going back, hundreds of years. It's so important. So speaking of genre and stuff, what are your favorite genres to write in?
I don't know. What do you mean by genre?
Whether it's so example, genre for short story, things like the confessional store no, blah, blah, for poetry, the confessional poetry or, rhyming, pastoral poems, sonnets, stuff like that, and then for short stories, romance, horror, more of like a literary fic, some stuff like that, like
Okay. Half of those I don't know what it means.
fair, fair, totally fair.
But I do like when there's a I don't know if that's a genre, like when there's conversations.
Dialogue heavy.
Yes, dialogue heavy. I do like that. I enjoy writing dialogues. Like not saying stuff in descriptions, but
Yeah.
saying stuff in dialogues.
That is so interesting. You're the only writer I think I've met that likes writing dialogue. Most people that
I
I've talked
love
to
it.
hate it unless they're screenwriter or script writer or whatever, because, scripts and screenwriting is all dialogue. But that is so interesting. What about dialogue do you like so much?
Because I get to like I'll go into characters' heads. And I get
Mm,
to like be the voices.
yeah,
Yeah, so like different voices. Oh, how would they think? How would they be thinking to say this thing? And
that
then
is
how would they respond? And like I get to imagine their lives and all that. I think
that
that's
is
what I like.
so interesting. Do you find creating those, like, unique character voices pretty easy? Like, do they just, like, come out, or do you have to, like, kinda work and figure out how they would talk and think and stuff?
Yeah, I think when I start imagining,
Mhm.
and that's when they're like, okay, this person would be like this. That's how they would say it. And a lot of that imagining also comes from people I've met. So like,
Oh,
oh, this
interesting.
character is like this person. So much is inspired from like real people.
Oh, that is so interesting. That is so I love that, and that is oh my god, there's so many writers that have done that even historically and stuff, just borrow from the people they know.
Yeah.
I love that. That is so cool. That is
Do
so
you do
cool.
that? Do you make people into your characters?
I do and I don't. So I will take bits and pieces from people I know to make, like,
Mhm.
an amalgamated version of a character, but I wouldn't say a character is a person that I know.
Mm.
So, it's more like a character is a mishmash of, like, 3 or 4 people that I know. Um, though I will admit, when I was working on the second draft of my novel, I was having a really hard time with body language, like figuring out how characters hold their hands, and especially
Right.
when they're talking, like, what are they doing? Are they just standing there? Like, how does their body move as they're talking? And so, I took notes about my coworkers. So when we would, like, sit down at the lunch table and as they're talking and telling stories, I was taking notes on, like, what are they doing with their hands? How are they moving their mouth? What kind of, like, actions are they doing to, like, give emphasis to what they're talking about. And so there's definitely bits and bobs of my coworkers in my characters because I needed them to help me figure out body language, and it worked. It helped a lot. Um, and I would like to do more of that, but I struggle with dialogue a lot, to be honest.
Mm.
I find my characters, they all talk like me. That's my problems. I can't quite get that unique individual voice, and I think part of it is I just need more practice. I just need to keep working at it.
Have you heard about the term active imagination?
I have, but not in the context of writing.
One of my professor told me about it, and
Yeah.
they um he said a lot of writers do that, and that's that's something I started doing with my novel, and it was really helpful. You should look into it.
I will. I'll have a sticky note here. I should write it down so I don't forget. Because that is something I feel like every now and then I get it. I'll get a few lines of dialogue written down and I'm like, "Yes, this is a character's voice. This makes sense."
Mm.
And then I start writing the next character and it's like, "Oh, I'm just writing the same character again." So, a lot of my short stories right now don't
Mm.
have dialogue because of that.
Mm.
But I think part of that's that I'm just still in the early phases of learning and figuring stuff out, so I'm figuring out pacing and the actual writing before I get into, like, "Okay, now we gotta figure out voice." I think
Yes.
that's the big hurdle for me for this year. I wanna figure that out.
I think for me, I I struggle with description.
Mhm.
Describing is like, what do I say about this? It's just computer.
Yes. Ugh,
Yeah.
I found maybe this might help you too, but when it comes to description, that's where I lean on poetry a little bit. So
Mm.
I try to think about if I was writing a say we're talking about, like, yeah, a laptop in a story or something. If I was going to write a poem about this laptop in the context of this story, what would I
Oh,
be thinking?
interesting.
And so then I try to pull in some of those that kind of verse and, like, line work into the description. That way it just sounds interesting, but then also that way you can say things about it without saying
Mhm.
things about it, you know? Because that's the weird tension of description is, like, the hills like white elephants. They say so much without actually saying anything, and I think poetry is
Yes.
really good at doing that.
Yes. That's a really good advice. Looking at description from poetry.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
like that.
you really come up with beautiful lines and you're like, "Oh, shit, yeah. This is going to be a poem now."
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was so nice chatting with you.
Ah, it was wonderful chatting with you too. I am very excited to see your big showcase here in, next week coming up so
Oh
fast.
yeah.
I cannot
Oh,
wait. Oh my
it's gonna be
goodness.
amazing.
I'm so excited about it. We are going to flood the Roxy Theater. It's gonna be amazing.
Yeah, me and my friend, we wrote a song for the first time. It was
Whoa,
like,
amazing.
yeah,
Ugh,
it's really fun.
I cannot wait to see it.
It'll be, it'll be something.
It'll be amazing. Dan is so good at curating and bringing people together,
Mhm.
and you and Leah and Jason and all kinds of other folks
Mhm.
are on the list. You're gonna knock it out. It's gonna be fantastic. I know it already.
Yeah,
The fact that you guys sold out
I
in less
know. And just like, yeah, less than a week.
like,
Yeah,
insane. So,
that's crazy. I know, but they're planning to do another one. I think he is to,
yeah,
yeah, because a lot of people couldn't get tickets.
I missed tickets, but I was told Dan told me, he's like, "Just show up. We'll get
Sure.
you in. If you have to sit on the floor somewhere, you'll have to sit on the floor, or we'll get you in." And I'm like, "Okay, I don't care if I have to sit on somebody's lap. I will be there."
Yeah, I've never I've performed on like at like high school functions
Yeah,
and stuff like that, but I've never performed on a stage. But
it'd be so good. Are you nervous about it?
a little, but I'm more excited.
Good. That's awesome.
Yes, yes.
It'll be so fantastic. Like, I don't think you have anything to worry about. You speak so well at open mics and stuff that it's gonna feel like just a big open mic.
Yeah, I'm gonna think that.
Yeah,
That is just an open mic, so
and push comes to shove, just don't look at people. Look past the crowd, and it's way easier. You don't have to, like, see people reacting. You can just pretend they're not there.
yeah, that too. Yeah. But I feel like it helps me when I anchor a couple people in crowd,
Yeah.
not like all of them, then it's like, okay.
I do that too. I'll pick, like, 2
Yes.
or 3 people kind of across the room so that I can just
Mhm.
bounce back and forth between them,
Yeah.
and then it makes it look like I'm speaking to everyone when in reality
Mhm. Like, you're special.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
So, alright. Well, this has been an hour. I don't wanna take up more of your morning 'cause I'm sure you have all kinds of writing you're wanting to do and other stuff because it is, the long weekend and the holiday.
Yes. Yes, I have planned so much, but I don't know what I'm gonna get done, but
Oh, I
something.
believe in you. It'll be something, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, have fun writing.
Thank you.
Oh, can I post this on YouTube?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Go
Okay,
for it.
yeah. I'll I think Substack's gonna make clips out of it, so I'm
Yeah.
just gonna post it, and I'll give your Substack in the description and the Instagram and everything.
Sure. I appreciate that so much. Thank you. And thank you for chatting with me. I loved listening to your side of how you approach writing and stuff. This is so interesting. I
Yes,
definitely
bye.
have lots to think about and to work on now.
Amazing. I'll see you in person sometime soon.
Yes. Oh, and a happy National Poetry Month.
Ah, happy Poetry Month.
All right. See you later.
Okay, bye-bye.